Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to your regularly scheduled podcast. Yes, that's right. I am back at the helm. What was the name that we were going with? Not Maniacal Matt? No, what was it? No, that's Megs.
No, wasn't it just like Matt? You're just Matt?
I'm just Matt. But there was like something else. Magical Matt?
I don't think it was Magical Matt.
I don't think magical.
That sounds
that's
cool,
not,
though.
That's not really me, though. I'm not magical at all.
Okay.
Miserable Matt. That's very accurate.
Miserable Matt. Maybe that's what it was.
Perfect. Done. So, anyways, we are back, and things are back to normal-ish, I guess. We're back going to the theaters, although we went to the theaters during Harvest Horror Fest. I mean, hell, we went during our last Harvest Horror Fest, Five Nights at Freddy's. But this week for Real Film Nerds, episode number 348. This is a film that has been out for a couple weeks, but we can't miss it. It's a great film. There's not really a whole lot else out, and it's long as shit. But we're talking about the new Martin Scorsese joint, Killers of the Flower Moon. Mike, before you give me your opinions, why don't we do this? What's the breakdown, my friend?
All right. So, like you said, directed by Martin Scorsese. This is written by Eric Roth, Martin Scorsese, and based on the book by David Gran. This movie is starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Lily Gladstone, Jesse Plemons, John Lithgow, and Brandon Fraser. And when oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, the Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery.
Wow, Mike, I know you are sick. So FYI, for those of you who, if you hear sneezing and coughing and vomiting, that is Mysterious Mike Talent. His children like to share their diseases with him, and he currently has one.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say something, but you rolled right into it, Matt, so I was just going with the flow.
Dude, it's all good. But I have to point out, Mike, you did a fantastic job doing the breakdown. Were you practicing, or are you just so out of it because you're sick?
I think it's just because I was so out of it. I'm sick, like I'm not thinking about it, dude. That's my problem. I think too hard when I'm reading, and then I like slow down, and then I speed up, and then slow down and speed up. I don't know.
Dude, you're doing a fantastic job. You need to be sick more often.
Okay, I'm not going to do that.
Okay, all right. So there you go. I didn't even introduce him. I just know you're sick, so I was kind of trying to push us along and get us through the pod so you can go and lie down and get feeling better. But Mysterious Mike Talent, there he is. He was chatting. He's sick. Let's get his opinion, though, on Killers of the Flower Moon. His first opinion. Ready, set. You loved it.
Okay, so this is real simple, Matt, and I can thank Mags for this kind of simple breakdown. It's a great movie. Martin Scorsese did it. It's really long. It's sad. Go watch it.
Wow. On the money. Wow. So let me put mine out there. It's a little confusing. So the movie is too long and too short.
Oh.
Ooh. Yes, that's the response I got on the radio. So this is my opinion, and I will try not to be too crazy about it. So the first two acts, excellent, lots of build-up, lots of explanation on who the Osage people are, a little bit of explanation on who Leo DiCaprio is and who his uncle is and all these people. We don't really get the FBI much until almost the third act. The second act is, the meat of the story, I guess you would say. And then the third act, I feel, was rushed. The third act is the court world. And if you take a look at the history, it lasted at least a year, maybe a little bit more. And they crammed it really kind of quick at the end. So that's why I say I think it's too long and too short, because I think there should have been more on the end. Now, what I'm going to say, I know people do this a lot now. Movie studios do this a lot, but I still think it would have been a good idea to do it with this film, don't give us one 3.5 hour long movie. Give us 2 2-hour movies. Give us the first half with the build up and explanation of what all's going on, the tribe, the oil, the ranchers, the people taking advantage, all that stuff, the murders. And then the second film, the second 2-hour film, give us the trial stuff and the aftermath and the things that went on, because I don't think it's kind of hard to spoil but not spoil, because this is historical facts. This is based on history. You can go look it up. You can go figure it out. But this was well known into the 50s and 60s and 40s when they were talking about it and doing radio shows and television programs and articles about it. So give us like more of that kind of stuff in the second film. I think if they would have done that, it would have been even more successful. But Mike, I really, really like this movie, even though it was long.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was beautifully shot. It's a great movie. Just insane acting by Leo. Dude, in some ways, Leo kind of reminded me of his character from What's Eating Gilbert Grape a little bit, like a long, long time ago. Because he's kind of I don't know, how did they say it in the movie? His disposition.
I'm not sure how they referred to him in the movie, but they didn't call him slow, but he's not quick-witted. He's not the sharpest.
Yeah. He was... They never really said anything like that, but he was easily manipulated, I guess.
Yes, that's the nice way to put it. Yeah.
And when it came to his military career, they thought he would be best served as a cook.
Yeah, than collecting bullets in World War I. Yeah, and I had that discussion with Ma Hinshaw, which you'll hear later. Ma Hinshaw, it was on the phone. She didn't realize how long Leo's been acting, and she'd never seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and I'm like, he has been an incredible actor since probably that movie, maybe even the one before. Just absolutely fantastic, and he's only gotten better. And she's like, I didn't even see that movie, so I'm going to make her, for her homework, watch that movie.
Yeah, man, Johnny Depp, classic.
Dude, great film. Absolutely great film. And Leo is a kid. Just fantastic. But again, now he's, this is like 30 years later. He is he was great back then, but he is extremely improved now because of all the films he's done.
Oh, yeah, man. He's had so many great roles. He's had a career where, he does whatever he wants to do. Like, this is his first movie in, I think, 3 or 4 years. And it's like, well, it's because he can do whatever. I know there was the pandemic, but like, he gets to choose whatever he wants to do,
Yeah, it's kind of odd, but I think he's slowing down like most actors when they start getting older. He has plenty of money. If he doesn't want to work in vacation and chase, tail, that's what he's going to do because he can.
Yeah. I think he has a reputation of always upgrading to the newest model after they reach 22? They're out.
Well, dude, it's going back to the old Dazed and Confused saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep. He loves those high school girls.
Oh, not high school girls, but he's damn close. That's one movie, during this slow period that we have coming up, we might do, because I don't know if we've ever reviewed that here on the podcast. 350 films, and we've never done such an iconic film.
No, we haven't. And, Matthew McConaughey and, what's
Ben
her face?
Affleck.
What's her face is in it?
Mila Kunis.
Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich, yeah. Yeah, she's in it. She doesn't have a big part, but she's in it. There's a lot of well-known actors and actresses that were in that film.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to watch. Not the world's greatest film, but I mean, it's like American Pie or something like that. It's a cult classic, dude. It is a generational film for that time period. It's fantastic. I love Dazed and Confused. I have I got it at Zia Records of all places, Mike, when we were in high school.
Wow.
It was either high school or college. It's the ultimate like 420 edition or psychedelic edition or something. It's in like this hologram box, you know, when you move it, it like changes colors and all that stuff. And it's all hippie colors and shit. It's pretty fun.
Well, Matt, for our listeners, can you explain what a record store is?
A record store is a place where they sold these things called CDs and tapes and records that played music. It was before the invention of an iPod or a smartphone or a digital media device. You had physical media to listen to things. Think of it like as, so most of you know what books are. So think of like a record as a book for music.
That's a great explanation, man. I think that'll do.
That work?
Yeah, that'll work.
So, okay, Mike, I don't know how much you want to keep discussing this without spoiling it. It's a long film. I don't think it'll be a long podcast. Hopefully not. But I think it is time for you to ask your favorite questions.
Yeah, man, I will in just 1 second. One thing I did want to say before we get into the spoilers, I didn't know that Robert De Niro's part in this movie was so big. And it was just amazing to see him just still going full steam, dude. And this is like, he's 80 now. I think he was 79 when they made this movie, but dude, 80. And Martin Scorsese's 80.
Oh, I know. I was pointing that out to my mom. I'm like, Mom, look at how much of a slacker you are. They're making these movies. Where are you at? Because my mom's 81.
Yeah, they're going to like the Clint Eastwood route, man. They'll be like 97 still acting.
Okay, so one thing I do want to kind of point out, couple things. I forgot to mention it earlier when I was talking about it being long. Originally, from what I heard, I don't remember where I read this article, but I swear I read it in an article. Martin Scorsese, when he originally put this film out in LA and in New York, they had an intermission so people could get up and go to the bathroom and get drinks and do all that stuff. When it opened wide release across the country, the movie theaters cut the intermission out. And so, like you and I were talking off the air before we started recording, you know, I had my 32-ounce Harkins cup filled to the brim, and it was empty by the time I hit hour 3, and it wanted out in a hurry. So I had to get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was able to keep it contained, but I had to like kind of waddle out of my seat. I had to take it very gently. I didn't want any explosions or anything. I had 44 ounces. You know, that's a lot.
Wow, you had me beat, and you held it. That's impressive, Mike. Impressive.
Yeah, but it was like so full that like when it's released, it like still hurt.
Yeah, that's never any fun, my friend. That's never any fun. You know what we're gonna have to do? They should give catheters away when you go and watch this film. They're like, here you go, get your cath. You know, we'll have the nurse put it in, and then go on, sit down and watch your film.
Well, I think that's a little invasive, Matt. So what I would suggest is like they just give you like optional Depends, but like discreetly, you know, like it's just in a little thing you can grab it.
Oh, sure. No cath? How dare you? Depends? Jesus, Mike. No, that's probably a lot less invasive, but catheter's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, because, I mean, you have to disinfect the catheter. What if you mess up?
Well, that's why you have the nurse there. She'll do it.
Like they want to pay a nurse.
No, not how well the movie theater's doing. But the thing is, you know, there was only like 4 people in the theater when I went and saw it. So I did go to the quote unquote late show on Thursday, and it was 6:45 was the last showing of it. And it got out at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, dude, I went, there weren't very many people, and it was like the 5 o'clock show. And yeah, it got out at like 10 o'clock at night, or it was like 9:30. It was like, oh my gosh.
Do your thing, Mike.
All right, Matt. So, what are you drinking this fine morning, evening, afternoon?
Well, Mike, since we are out of the Harvest Horror Fest celebration, I have switched it up quite a bit. This is one that has been sitting around in my fridge for a little bit because I bought these during the Harvest Horror Fest, and I held on to one just so I could specifically use it on the podcast. Mike, I have a little mixed drink from Malibu. It's Malibu and pineapple juice and coconut.
Oh, it sounds yummy, dude.
It's very delightful. It's totally something I would be drinking on a beach. So it makes me feel tropical.
Yeah, so what I'm drinking is a little bit different too, Matt. It's 12 ounces of NyQuil. It is, it's my preferred cold and flu medicine. And, it's got some booze in it. So there you go.
I like it. I like that you have not just a regular straw. You have one of those swirl straws, the swizzle straws.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very classy. Did you steal that from your child?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, it's pink, so let me guess. You stole it from your daughter.
No, it's my son's.
No colors, no color, gender in your house, right?
Yes, no boundaries.
So, okay, Mike. Well, speaking of being a father, Mike, what is this week's atrocious dad joke?
I got dad jokes. I don't think they understand, though. Gotta think I'm funny. Other people never laugh, though. Dad jokes.
All right, thanks for asking, Matt. What do you call delivery birds who like rap music?
Delivery birds who like rap music. Pigeons?
Homie pigeons.
Homie pigeons. Oh, I got half of it.
You did. You did.
I got half, yeah. I was going to say, I was thinking something to do with Tyson because he got his pigeons, but he's not a rapper. Dude, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll give you that one.
All right. Woo.
So, all right, Mike, since we're not going to have one next week because I think we've already spoiled it. Everybody knows November 10th is the last Marvel Cinematic Universe film of the year, I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's one in December.
No, I think that's the last one.
Yeah, but Mike, I don't think this is too difficult. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Mike, how does Killers of the Flower Moon relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, Matt, it was a little harder than I would have liked. I had to dive all the way down into the art directors for this movie, Matt. It was just, I don't know, Scorsese and stuff. It seems like he has a crew, like I've started to notice with a lot of these big time filmmakers, Matt. It seems like a lot of the same people work on this, movies with the same group.
Well, I'm sure that, especially someone as big as Scorsese has his crew that he likes and wants and that he trusts. And he knows won't, spoil and ruin things and it'll go off without a hitch. So I'm sure Scorsese dictates quite a bit of this. But are you saying that Scorsese has never directed a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie, Mike? How dare you?
Yeah, so far, man. But I mean, he's got a few years. Anyway, back to the MCU tie-in. His name is Jordan Crockett. He's an art director, and he worked on Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange, Avengers Age of Ultron, Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 1, Thor: The Dark World. So quite a few MCU movies.
Mike, do you think that his great-great-great-great-great-grandfather David is or Davey is okay with him working in the film industry now and not being an explorer and fighting to save the Alamo?
Yeah, Davy Crockett.
That's a fucking terrible joke. That was horrible, but
yeah,
I tried.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I think he's okay.
So, all right. So there we go, Mike. We are done. We are out of said spoiler section. Not spoiler section. Shit. We're into the spoiler section. That's what we're doing. I will let you go first.
All right.
Yeah, you're let you blow your nose. Go for it.
Okay. All right. So, it's really interesting to see like the evolution of the character in the first two acts, like you said, like kind of coming back from war, not really knowing what to do. His uncle's like, hey, you can come work for me or whatever. And then, he ends up kind of marrying into Osage family, and it's for money, and it's kind of like for a business. Like they treat it like a business, kind of. But I do get the feeling that Ernest Burkhart, the character that's played by Leonardo DiCaprio, really does love his wife and the kids. But these things keep happening where his uncle keeps like directing him to do various things, and I guess he kind of like throughout the movie there's a little bit of stuff where he's doing some petty theft here and there, and he has gambling stuff because he says he likes money in the beginning of the movie. He's like, I really like money.
Yeah, he doesn't hide that. No, he does not hide that. And I agree, Mike. I think Leo's character definitely did love her quite a bit, even before his uncle came up with a scheme to marry her to basically get the oil rights of her family's sake, because they had unsolicited, right? Or unrestricted? Unrestricted is what they called it. Unrestricted rights to the oil money. Which not all of them had. I think it was based on their stature in the tribe, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah,
and so they had unrestricted. So
yeah.
literally she could get however much money she wanted. It didn't matter. And, De Niro's character, William Hale, wanted that money, or better known as King Hale. And but just to touch on your point a little bit earlier, it's interesting. He went to go live with his uncle instead of his family. Really makes me feel like King Hale was more of like almost a father figure for Ernest, than he was an uncle. Maybe even before he went off to war.
Yeah, I'm not sure because he definitely knew him, and like I don't know. I did like. I wish there's a little bit more of it, but I enjoyed the Bureau of Investigation before it was called the FBI.
Yeah, that was great.
Jesse Plemons and the crew, I liked how they kind of just like staked the place out and were just kind of like talking to everybody. I loved it. I thought it was cool.
Do you feel that Jesse Plemons is being typecast as a police officer now? It's funny because he was a white supremacist Nazi in Breaking Bad, and now he's being typecasted as police officers and FBI, and like he was even I think FBI or a sheriff or something in one of the Fargo TV series.
Oh, I don't know. I hope not. He's definitely seems like he's got lots of he can do all kinds of stuff. Like he can do comedy and he can do other things. Like he's been in a lot of movies.
Yeah, dude. I always go back to it. One of my favorite roles ever. Surprise hit, dude. That movie was a surprise hit for me. Was Game Night. God, he was so funny in that movie.
Yeah, dude. No, he was great in Game Night.
He was creepy funny, and it was just wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah, so and I think you're right, Matt. The trial stuff seemed like it was a lot longer, and they needed to explain a lot more, and they just kind of eased over it. I did like the very end scene where they had like the radio, like where they were talking about true crime stories. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, I thought it was a fantastic way to end it. It was, I think they said it was the 40s or 50s. And that just shows you how much people have really been passionate about true crime, murder mystery kind of stuff, that it's not a new thing. Like today, sure, they're all over the place with CSI and, the How I Murdered My Husband and all that other crazy shit today. But it just shows you that people have always been extremely fascinated by this stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure, man. Like, I think that really was neat. That was a neat tie-in, and like it flowed well. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. That was an interesting way to end it.
Question though, and I don't know if you can answer this for me or not. I'm going to ask it anyways. But if I'm not mistaken, Mike, I think this is the first time Martin Scorsese put himself in a film.
I think other than maybe just like a walking like extra or something. Yeah, I think that's right.
Like a prominent speaking role.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the film ends with him doing the last little bit of the radio show. And for me, he talks about it a little bit. I don't know if you've watched any stuff on YouTube or anything about him talking about this film. This film is very personal to Scorsese. Very, very personal. He really, you could tell, spent a long time on this film. And I think by him putting himself at the very end to end the film, I think it just adds even more to show you how much he cares about this story. It's not the money. It's not the film. It's not making money. It's the story, you know?
Yeah, and what a story, man. Like, you couldn't make this up, dude. It's so crazy. All the different people and the weird crimes and, like, how everybody was asked to do something and they screwed it up or you know, Ernest told somebody, you know, you can steal my car, but, like, that screwed it all up. Like, you know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's insane. I mean, it would take one of the best writers in the world to make up something like this because it just... the most mundane things go very, very wrong that ends up unraveling everything when they finally go to court.
Yeah, dude, the dynamite, holy crap. Like,
yeah.
Dude.
Just that alone. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah, we used too much and blew up an entire house. Not like a little bit. I mean, level the fucking thing.
Yeah, no, dude, that was crazy. And it was also interesting that the other guy who had married two of the sisters, Ernest and him both hated each other, and it was like really weird. And it's like, why do you hate him? He's doing the same thing you're trying to do.
Yeah, except for, you know, he's working his way through his other sister. It's like, just someone marry the mom and just get it over with. Although she died, so.
Yeah, no, it's just weird. That was weird, but like, you could feel the tension. I really like those scenes. There's only a couple, but.
Okay, so what did you think of Brendan Fraser's character in this film?
I liked it, but he's barely in it. Like, he did a great job in his, about 2 scenes, right? There's the courtroom scene, and then there's the house scene. That's about it.
That's about it, yeah. But, so, I haven't looked at IMDb. I guess I probably should have before sitting down and do the podcast. But clearly they must have filmed this during COVID, like during the first part of COVID. And so that's why it makes me think that Scorsese has been editing this and putting this film together for a while, like at least a year, if not 2, because Brendan Fraser is very heavy in this film. He is not heavy now, and he has not been heavy for a while. Do you remember the last time he was really heavy like that, Mike?
Wasn't it for The Whale or whatever?
It was for The Whale, yeah. Even though he still had to put on a giant fat suit and all that, he still purposely gained a lot of weight to try and help his appearance for that film. And so I think this was filmed either right after he finished filming The Whale or like during it, or, you know, something around the same time as The Whale. So that's why it makes me think that Scorsese has been working on this film for a bit.
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't surprise me, man, if he spent some time, you know, going back and forth and editing different things and trying to get it just right.
Yeah, that's why I think the first, 2/3 of it are fantastic, and I think he was just looking at the clock going, all right, I got to rush this third act out. I seriously just wish they would have broken it up into 2 films, but I bet you if this isn't nominated for a bunch of stuff for the Academy Awards, I'd be surprised. I'd be really surprised, especially, Lily Gladstone, Best Supporting Actress. She played Molly Burkhart. She was, what an actress, dude. What an actress.
Oh, yeah, man. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a
right?
great
You
movie,
breathing?
dude. Huh?
You all right? You breathing okay?
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there?
I'm okay. It was a great movie, but it's just sad, because you kind of can tell why all these people are there. Like, they're all just chasing the money, and it's just like, dang.
Oh, every single one of them, man. I mean, it's horrible. It's really depressing to watch. I mean, from the cab drivers to, God, right off in the opening scene, when Leo, well, not opening, one of the earlier seasons, it's not opening, where Leo's character is a cab driver, and it's showing all these higher ups in the tribe, and the dude's like literally, oh, if you blow a tire in this Rolls Royce, just come back and buy another one. It's like, what?
Yeah.
He has them convinced that if something goes wrong with the car, just come back and buy another one. You don't need to fix it. Just get another one.
Yeah. No, it's just, it was,
The sheer amount of deception is disgusting.
Yeah.
And I think Scorsese captured it very well.
Yeah, and then what did you think at the end? I guess pretty close to the end when they actually got to go meet the president. Was it Coolidge?
Yeah, Calvin Coolidge. I find it really disappointing that it took all of the elders of the tribe and their equivalent of like a council flying halfway across, halfway across the country, because it takes place in Oklahoma, halfway across the country to Washington to meet with the president to get any kind of investigation going. And I think that's one of the reasons why nowadays they have field offices for federal agents in border towns near reservations. Like when I was in Gallup, New Mexico, there's a very large FBI. It was the tallest building in town. It was like 5 or 6 stories. Facility in Gallup, which is a border town to the reservations over there. And so I think that's one of the things that's come out of stuff like this is that the federal agents have a heck of a lot more of a presence on the reservations. Now, are they making a huge difference? I don't know. I'm not there anymore, but I hope so. I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I would hope so too. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was depressing that all that stuff had to happen. But they did send somebody, which was also shocking, really. Like, I was like, I feel like a lot of times the president just like someone who goes and hears all this stuff from people and then just kind of turns around and was like, well, that's a terrible thing, and then does nothing. Yeah. But he actually sent the Bureau. I thought that was good, at least.
Well, things were quite a bit different back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, much smaller country, much smaller population, that's what I meant by country. But I think the president was able to do a lot more things without being pigeonholed on certain things. I don't know. That's just my guessing on it. But yeah, it's horrible that it took literally the eradication of almost one entire family, and God knows how many more people involved. I mean, yeah, they tell us quite a bit in this film, but there could be a lot more involved that we don't even really know about.
Yeah, there probably was. It seemed like, our main guy, who was a Mason, which it didn't dive into at all, but William Howell was a Mason. It just kind of talked a little bit. Like, it just said that he was a Mason, and they showed that one scene.
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, they really didn't go far into that. Well, and there definitely were more murders that were never solved. At least that's what they allude to in the beginning, because Scorsese shows us, about 7 or 8 murders in the beginning of the film that never investigated, and they clearly were murders. Clearly. So there was a lot more murdering going on than just what eventually went to trial.
Yeah, but I think this was the most solid case, I guess.
Right. Well, this is the ones where they had a lot of evidence, and the other ones could have been done by several other people taking advantage of the natives, because it was clearly all natives that were being, murdered, the Osage.
Oh, yeah, no, and the doctors were all weird about it.
Yeah, that was really creepy, and that messed me up at the end where they said they never tracked down the doctors and prosecuted them for anything.
Yeah, no, it was weird. That was weird.
So, all right, Mike. Well, next week, the last Marvel Cinematic Universe movie of the year, hopefully, The Marvels. Are you excited for this film, Mike, or do you think it's going to be a shit show?
I don't know what to expect, Matt, so I'm hopefully optimistic.
Well, Mike, it is Brie Larson. It is Sam Jackson, though. I like Sam Jackson. We all know how much I love Brie Larson. She's awful. But I do like the other characters in there, Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan. Although I had a hard time watching the Miss Marvel show on Disney Plus. I watched about 2 or 3 episodes and had to turn it off. I just think maybe it's too teenagery. Maybe it's too much of a copy of Green Lantern. I don't know. But I think I will enjoy the side characters. Maybe not side characters isn't the correct term. The other co-stars of Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau versus Carol Danvers, played by Brie Larson, and of course Nick Fury, played by Sam Jackson. I think I will enjoy all of that, but I don't have high hopes for this film. They have pushed this back multiple times. It was supposed to come out, I think, in April or May of this year. I think it was supposed to be the MCU kickoff for the year, and it became the wrap-up. So, and I know they did reshoots for it, so I personally don't have high hopes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Matt, speaking of like weekends and stuff, this last weekend, Five Nights at Freddy's was still the number one at the box office, because originally Dune was supposed to come out, but they pulled it because of the writers and actors strike.
Right? Yeah. We're not getting Dune this year, though, are we?
No, it's next year. I think it's
they
April.
pushed it back like completely because it was supposed to come out this fall. I thought it was like November. It is November. Duh.
Yeah, it was this last weekend, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's why it was empty. That's why really nothing came out. That's why it was weird.
Yeah, because I'm really looking forward to that second part of Dune. I hope that's going to be awesome. See, look, there's another movie that did it with 2 parts. Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2. A lot of movies are doing 2 parts. I really, not to keep harping on this, but I really think they could have gotten away with that on this instead of having one really long-ass movie. But anyways, next week, The Marvels. Maybe tune into our podcast before you go spend money on it is what I'm saying. Because I think it's going to go straight to streaming pretty gosh darn quick.
Okay. All right. It might.
So, okay, Mike, most important question, truly the most important question, not joking. How many reels do you give Killers of the Flower Moon?
I'm gonna give this 4.5 reels, dude. It was like a masterpiece. It was great. It was just really long.
Mike, I would love to give this 4.5 reels, but because of the length and the fact that it felt long, I only give it 4. I dropped it a whole reel for that. The acting is on point. The cinematography is on point. The editing, other than the length, is on point. The directing, it's a masterclass in filmmaking. It is Martin Scorsese, after all. So this is a masterful, epic film, but I don't know, dude. It's missing a little something. It's too much and it's missing something. So that's why I dropped it to 4.
Okay, all right, that's fine, dude.
So, well, all right, my friend. I don't have anything else to add other than you know what? I have told people this. I've told friends and family this. I'm kind of confused on Killers of the Flower Moon. I know it's going to come out on Apple TV Plus because I've seen it saying coming soon. I'm not sure if it's coming out on Paramount Plus, though.
Oh, I'm not sure. I know Paramount distributed the movie in the theaters, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there.
My advice, as much as I love Scorsese and as much as I love going to the theaters, the dialogue is very dense in this film. If you can, I would say wait until it comes out on streaming so you can pause it and rewind and catch stuff, because I'm sure I missed stuff when I saw it in the theaters. I don't like to say that. I like people going to the theaters, but I think this is one that'll probably be better at home.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not sure, Matt. For sure, Apple TV will have it, but maybe it'll be on Paramount Plus also for a little while, and then it'll roll out. I don't know.
And we're kind of early, but I'll jump the gun. I only heard about it today, but we will have a giveaway next month related to this film, if that's a hint for those of you who are longtime listeners of the podcast. So sit tight, because you might not even have to pay for a streaming service if you like to enter contests. How's that?
That is a nice teaser, Matt. I think you gave them a good hint, and it's up to them to figure it out.
Very good. Mike, do your thing, my friend.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. I'm going to apologize again for my vocals and my cold, but it was a pleasure to talk about this movie, Martin Scorsese's. It's just crazy to watch. He's still doing this stuff. And make sure to follow us on the socials: Facebook, Twitter, also known as X. No, Wait, other way around. X.
Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. No, X, formerly known as Twitter. There you go.
Yeah, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you on the next pod.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.
Welcome, everyone, to Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Cookies, episode number 37, The Killers of Flower Moon. Hello, Matt. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm just wonderful, Mother, as always. How are you?
I knew that. I'm just peachy keen myself.
Have you finally figured out how to do a podcast and use Skype? It's not like I'm asking you to do brain surgery. 37 episodes. You think you would figure it out?
Please,
maybe next
I don't
week.
want to do brain surgery. No.
Next week, maybe episode number 38, you'll finally learn how to use Skype. I'm not holding my breath, though.
Maybe. I'll try.
Yeah, you've tried
Okay.
37 times now, and you have successfully failed 37 times.
Ugh. Well, anyway, I absolutely loved this movie, even though it was very sad because, well, there were lots of murders, and but it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and the actors were fabulous. I couldn't believe how good they were. Leonardo played, I think this role is one of his most challenging. It was emotions up, emotions down. He was really, really good. And Robert De Niro, I didn't even, my vision is bad and it's challenged, but he did not look like himself. He played the uncle, and I think his name was Hale, and he was just spot on evil. And then I loved Lily, the girl that played Molly in the movie. She was just fantastic. This was the most heart-wrenching story, and I just highly recommend that everyone go see it, even though it's really long. Did you feel the same way, Matt?
Well, our listeners know how I felt because they just listen to my podcast. This is
That's
your
right.
podcast.
That's right.
If they made it this far, maybe. As I discussed on the podcast and also on the radio, this movie was too long and too short at the same time.
Right. And I agree with that. You know, they could have actually probably made a whole nother movie of just the trial and all, but they didn't. You know, they just kind of breezed through the trial.
And that is one of those things that I discussed in the podcast before this and also on the radio, that I think it would have been, I've discussed it at length, but they should have spent more time on the trials, and they should have split it into two parts. Had two 2-hour movies, I think it would have been a lot easier to digest.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, that's true, because a 3-hour movie, 3.5 hour, is pretty long. That's, you know, and I love the fact that it covered the history. It had very old-fashioned pictures of the area. I thought the cinematography was really great, and the creation of where they lived, the house, the oil fields. I thought it was just all really, really good. But that's true. I think probably in the middle, you kind of, I don't say you get bored because there was nothing boring in it to me, but some people might have gotten bored, you know, because it was a little long. But I just loved Lily. I thought she played, that was one tough role. She kept getting, losing her sister, her family member, and it was just out and out amazing that this was from a true story. I still can't believe it. You know, it's very hard. And I know that they said what happened to the husband and the uncle at the end. But boy, to think that that really occurred was really sad to me and a shocker.
So does this make you want to watch more true life stuff?
Well, this week is the
like
Marvel.
True life, true crime kind of stuff?
Well, I like that.
Well, but does this make you want to watch more of that or no?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. It kind of really does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know the research for this movie must have been just really, really involved. I mean, wow. You know, spot on. Just, I think it should win awards like crazy. And I looked up Lily Gladstone, and she doesn't really look like Molly in the movie, but she just did a really beautiful job of it. Really, really good. So that's my view. And I think
you do know that this film is based on a extremely best-selling novel, correct?
a novel. Oh, I thought it was.
I thought I've explained this to you before. There is a segment on 60 Minutes where they discuss this. This is a gentleman that spends months and years writing these novels that are based in history that are extremely big sellers. And this is one of several of his novels that are being turned into movies.
Wow, how fascinating. It was really, really good. Very good. And I mean, I don't want to discuss a lot of what happened because, you know, that's part of the enjoyment of going and seeing the movie, folks. But yeah, really good. And
So should
De Niro,
people go see this in theaters or no?
oh yes, please. I mean, just the view of the town at that period of time, and the being out where the home was and the oil wells, and I mean it was just really good cinematography. I thought it was really beautiful, really good.
Okay, but
So-
what about those of us who need to go to the bathroom every hour?
Well, that's a tough thing. I don't know. Don't drink your Coke in the movie and hold it until the end, I guess. But I don't know if you can, but it's worth a try.
Well, Mom, it's 3.5 hours long, and I drank a soda, and I had to get up and go pee, and I missed a chunk of the movie, and I wasn't super happy about that.
Oh no. I guess not. Well, then you got a problem. Because
Well, that's my point, is that most people don't hold their pee for 3.5 hours like you.
No, and I'm an old lady. Kind of weird, huh? I did not get up and go potty at all.
Well, you
was
also
moved-
don't drink anywhere near the fluids you should be drinking, and we all
Well, no.
No, I
that's-
mean, your listeners don't know that, but everyone in the family knows that. That's one of the reasons why, you're probably going to have real kidney problems.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyhow, it was really good. And just Leonardo, I mean, his part was like he'd be up and, and he'd be loving his kids and his wife and everything. And then when he lost his little daughter, that was, just tore your heart out. I mean, he really, really nailed it. Very good. Very good. Yep. I mean, I expect it to get awards. I hope it does. Don't you?
Well, you haven't even talked about Robert De Niro.
Oh, he was, how do I put this? You could hardly recognize that it was him, number one. And number two,
I don't agree with that. It was Robert De Niro from the start.
But he was 1 minute schmoozing and really sweet and nice and I helped the Osage and I've helped him forever. And then the next minute he was like, get this person wiped out, and yeah, he was fantastic. Like I said, I think at least the three folks should get awards for their performances because it was really, really good. Just fantastic. So there you go. Well, figure out if I saw it again, I could tell you where to take a break and go to the bathroom, run fast, get a movie near the bathroom or something. But I love seeing it in the wide screen. Gorgeous. Beautiful.
Well, why not just wait in a few weeks when it will probably be out on Apple TV Plus, and then you can get up and go to the bathroom whenever you want.
Well, yes, you could, but I mean, it's just not the same. I mean, in the theater, it was just magnificent. I just felt like that was a great place to go see that movie. I mean, I'll watch it again when it comes on Apple Plus. I would like to watch it again. But the thing is, it's just not near, I don't know, as good as when you see it in the theater. There. Okay?
Okay, well, how many cookies do you give it?
Ma Hincha gives it 4.5. Mainly because, well, yes, it was a titch long, but I mean, everything was cinematography was great. Acting was great. I mean, just, that's it. 4.5. Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about the movie next week?
The Marvels. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I understand it. I think I will.
Are you a big fan of Brie Larson?
I don't know. She's pretty.
Okay, what about anyone else? Can you name one other person in the film?
No, I can't. I don't know their names.
You don't know Sam Jackson?
Oh, shoot. I forgot Samuel Jackson was in it. Yeah, I forgot that. Oh, yeah, I love him.
Do you love him in a metaphorical sense?
Well, he's a great actor. That's what I like about him, okay?
So you don't love him as a person then?
I never knew him personally, okay?
Are you hiding something from me?
No. Anyway, no. Oh, I'm sure he'll be good. And then you've told me to watch Captain America before I go see this.
I did not tell you to watch Captain America before you see this.
No? What did you say?
Well, it's called The Marvels. So which Captain movie would you see for The Marvels? Do you think
don't know.
Captain Marvel?
Oh, Captain Marvel. Oh, Lord. Why'd I think Captain America? Oh, dear.
All right, kids, this is why you don't do drugs. Because when you're in your 80s, this is what happens.
Don't be 81 either.
Well, that's what happens if you do drugs and you make it to your 80s. This is the kind of, struggles you will have for the rest of your days.
Captain Marvel. Oh, golly.
How long do you forget how to tie your shoes?
I don't tie my shoes. I wear Crocs.
So at least 5 or 6 years ago then.
20, 30 pairs I have. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm asking you, how long ago was that you stopped wearing shoes then?
Well, yeah, 5 or 6 years, I think.
So then that's when you forgot how to tie your shoes.
Yep, I guess so. I don't even own a pair of shoes that I need to tie. Yeah.
I don't understand that one, but okay.
Well, I'll explain sometime, but one of the reasons is that Crocs are very light and I have very bad knees. And when I wear Crocs, at least I can walk or hobble, as the case may be. So there we go.
But if you had a real shoe, it would have a little thing called cushioning, which would help support your knees.
I don't know. They're still heavy. So I wear my Crocs, and I had orange ones for Halloween. I don't want to run out and buy orange shoes, but I had Crocs. That's cool, right? Or not. Well,
I'm really glad that this podcast has devolved into the Crocs Are Us podcast. I don't know. This is ridiculous.
Well,
you're ridiculous, Ma. You're ridiculous.
No, I'm ridiculous. What else is new?
Not new. I'm just making sure our listeners know, or your listeners know. I'm not sure which way we're going on this. All right. Well, I think I am done. I think I was done 20 minutes ago when we started, but it is what it is. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to Ma Hinshaw Loses Her Cookies. I'm pretty sure that phrase applies more to me than it does to her, or because her cookies have already been lost. I am in the process of losing mine from this podcast. So thank you, everyone. We will chat at you next week. The Marvels, MCU. I say wait until you hear us chat about this one to see if it's worth spending money on it, because I don't think it's going to be very good. So, all right. Thank you again, everyone. Chat with you next week.
Bye.